All right, so we are going to start scaling out and up this winning product. Now, there's a bunch of ways to scale. Let's brainstorm on how we can actually scale out and up. So number one, we can scale by interests. Okay, so that can be broad, small, precise, let's call them, INT, intersect, etc. Okay, we can also scale by lookalikes. I'm just going to put LLAs. 1 to 10%. Lots of sources. Okay, so that's a ton of ways to scale right there. We can also scale by creative or ad posts. So image, video, slideshow, etc. We can also scale by objectives. So add to cart, purchase, engagement, video views, etc. That's another way to scale. How else can we scale? We can scale by placement. So news feed, Instagram, etc. We can also scale by device. Okay, so we can do iOS, so basically for iPhone or Android, right? So we can scale that out as well, and of course desktop. I'm going to put here right column. Okay, so that's a few ways that we can scale out our ads. Now, you notice here, I'm talking about different audiences, different ways to target different ads. I'm not talking at all about increasing budgets, right? That's completely separate. This is called scaling out. Okay, so scaling out. Now, if you want to scale up, that's a whole different ball game. So scaling up would be starting, let's just say this, ad sets with large budgets, right? Let's say 25 to even 500. Scaling up would also be increasing budgets by, 20% per day or 100% per week. That's how you want to scale in this day and age with this new Facebook algorithm, how things work. This is the best way to do it. I recommend starting by scaling out, and then once you have a lot of profit and you're comfortable with all these things, then you can start messing with bigger budgets and increasing the budgets, etc. For right now, I think all your focus should just be on these 6 things: scaling by interest, scaling by lookalikes, scaling by creative, scaling by objectives, by placement, and by device. That's more than enough to get you to start scaling in a big way and launching a ton of ads. So in this video, we're going to focus on scaling by interests, okay? So let's go do that. So here are the ad sets I have running right now. I've got 5 ad sets. One of them is retargeting. And you can see here, if we organize by ROAS, the top one has the best ROAS. So broad intersect 9. For some reason, this audience is doing really well. So 3.5 times ROAS and $8 cost per conversion. So that's really good. So even though the CPC is high, it doesn't matter because the quality of traffic is very high and it's backing out. To me, all that matters right here is the ROAS, that it's above 2. If it's above 3, then it's great. Okay, so we're going to focus on this one right here. So we're going to duplicate our best ad set. Then what we're going to do is create new campaign. Then we're going to go edit ad set. And we're going to call this scale 1. Broad intersect. Okay. Leave the budget alone, leave the purchase alone because it's working. You don't want to mess with settings that are actually working. US is fine. Now we did actually forget one other way to scale. Okay. This should probably be last, depending on where you're at in your business. But we can also scale by country, right? So we can do Australia, New Zealand, Canada, UK, Europe, etc. Okay. So that's another really good way to scale as well. But we're going to cover that later on. It's probably the last thing we do, because that, you have to talk with your vendors, figure out fulfillment issues and shipping prices and all that. So we leave that to last. But that's definitely a good way to scale out later as well. 25 plus, leave that. Leave the gender all. Now, what's interesting, let's go before we do this. And okay, so now what we're going to do before we go and we're going to check the gender. Let's just do age and gender. And let's see, so 55 to 64 male. Okay, so that's just dominating. That's interesting. 40 to 54 male, and then 1 female there. Okay, so it looks like it's, oh, and then a couple female sales. So since we're getting male and female, we definitely want to leave it open. So I'm just gonna clear all breakdowns on that. So we go back, we leave it open, 25 plus is fine. You can try a shorter age range like 35 or 45 plus, but your costs are gonna go up. I don't really like to mess with what's working. So I'm just gonna leave that alone for now. And then for some reason, this type of audience is working, this like sub niche in the niche. So woodworking is very, very good for this one. So what we're gonna do is keep making different versions of this woodworking. So what we can do is go to suggestions and intersect it with something else. Maybe woodcraft. So it's a bit smaller of an audience. And then we'll add in some more on this end as well. So every time you duplicate, you need to make the audience different. Okay, so different targeting for the audience every time you dupe. You never want to have 2 exact same dupes. That's not going to work well. Okay. Yeah, so there we go. We'll just add in some other random ones. Just mix it up, make it different. And edit placements, that's fine. Now, since we have sales coming in, I'm going to change this to 1-day click, because that actually should work better now that we have data coming through. So all new ad sets are going to use 1-day click. Okay, leave the placements the same, and that's good to go. We're going to keep hammering the same ad and just build up the traffic, the comments, the likes, shares, and just get as big as possible. The bigger the engagement, the lower ad costs are going to be. Okay, so and copy that for a sec, place order. And usually I would never launch ads this late in the day, but because I want to get some data in for this case study, I'm going to do it anyway, but I highly advise you not launching ads past 12 p.m. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate a bunch more. Let's do like 10 more. Well, 9 more because we already did 1. So paste this in, scale 2. Let's take this out, maybe just do a big one of 2 million and add in some random ones. Okay, that's too big. So one of these obviously is too big. We're gonna have to remove. That one right there, woodworking, so we'll take that out, it's way too big. Now we're down to 2 million, which is ideal. Change that to 1-day click. Everything else looks good, and we'll roll with that. Okay, place order. Okay, we're gonna dupe again. And we just keep going again and again. And this is how we scale with the first method, scale by interests. Let's change that to 1 day. Change the targeting. Let's do something more broad. Woodworking. Too small. Okay, we want to get that up a bit higher. Woodcraft. That's a good size. So we'll roll with that. This is actually number 3. So save that out. Place order. So those two, scale 1 and scale 2, are already live. So that's cool. And let's keep going. So we're going to do number 4. Let's intersect it with DIY. That could be interesting. So mix it up here. Let's do a big broad one. Never know it could work. Save that out. Okay, you do number 5. Let's narrow it one more time. Parents, it's an interesting one. Could even narrow that further with like homeowners. I don't see homeowners on here. Let's do home improvements. Okay, that's good. Let's roll with that. 1-day click. Okay, let's do number 6. Okay, that's a good one. So just a matter of randomly throwing together intersecting interests, all different sizes, and some ad sets will work and some won't. And that's basically how you scale by interests. So we'll keep going. Always best to duplicate the best ad set to which you're getting the best results from, and always do new campaign. That seems to help, not sure why, but it works pretty well. Now let's do number 7. And what else do we have here? Let's try renovation. Cool, that's a good one. Okay, let's see what we have now. Type in filter scale. So we got 7. Let's just refresh. So we'll do 3 more. Yeah, so we're gonna do 3 more. That's cool. Duplicate again. Let's try house building. How about construction? Something more broad. Okay, let's narrow it a bit further. Maybe with parents. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's try that. So you can't be scared to spend money. Scaling is all about hammering ads and seeing what works and turning off what doesn't, right? So every day you got to launch ads, and that's the best way to scale. So let's dupe again. Make sure that's 1-day click. Framing, that's a good one. Okay. And we'll do one more, and that'll be it for this video. Cool. I'm just gonna try woodworking by itself. You know, you never know. Let's see what happens when you just do the broad interest by itself. Could be interesting. Okay, now one thing I'm going to do is make sure that all of them have the 1 day click. So let's see if I can select all of the scale ones. So that's a name scale. Whoops. Make sure filters are turned off, and then highlight them all and edit. Go to the bottom. Yeah, they're all 1 day clicks. I selected them all, so that's good. And let's go filters active. Cool. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you how to scale out by using different interests with the audience that's working best within, which is in this case woodworking. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.